Yeah, yeah, it's the power hour where the bruisers eat. No finesse, no flukes, just backs that punish. Fantasy gold in the mud, let's eat. Yo, welcome to the power hour.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Football Power Hour. Have with me, as always, Muscles Ryan Mail. What's going on, Mus?
Not a whole lot. What's happening?
Well, all kinds of stuff really in the news right now for NFL. We don't always expect this in July at this time. We're kind of always like really trying to get some news. We might have an injury here or there, but there's been all kinds of stuff. So we're going to kind of just dedicate this show just mainly for news and kind of like dissecting everything and kind of how we feel about like what's going on just with some of these players for fantasy reasons and kind of talk about some contracts. So we got big news here with the Rashee Rice stuff going on, where Rashee Rice sentenced to 30 days in jail and 5 years of probation. Now, this kind of came out of left field to me because it seemed like nobody was like the case was going to get pushed back. Like everything I was reading, it was going to get pushed back 2026. I'm like, oh yeah, Rashee Rice here. I think he could have a really good season because I think he's going to play all the games. Now, yeah, could be off to a little bit of a slow start coming off, the bad injury and everything. But how do you feel about Rashee Rice, and were you surprised by this as well?
Yeah, I mean, I was very surprised by it. Like, it just popped up on Sleeper. Like, everybody got the alert, and I was like, wow, that kind of came out of left field. Um, I think it kind of like the thing that really pops out is he's probably going to be suspended this year. I mean, that's the big news that comes from this. I mean, we were all kind of expecting maybe next year, that he gets suspended. I mean, hopefully. From what I'm seeing, it's like 2 to 6 games is basically what everybody is kind of saying. And of course, Rashee will probably appeal it. It might get
Down to 4.
reduced. Yeah, down to 4. It'll probably be, 3 or 4 games. We see this all the time where the player will appeal and he'll get like half the sentence. I mean, the thing that would really benefit, which I'm sure the Rashee Rice camp's probably going to push for, is like maybe be suspended at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we know he's coming back from an injury. He's going to be probably take a couple weeks to get acclimated and, up to, football speed. So, it would actually, I don't want to say it would benefit him to be suspended at the beginning of the year. I don't want to say it would benefit him to be suspended, but like if you were to be suspended, I think that is the dream scenario for Rashee Rice, honestly.
Yeah. I agree. And I think what we're going to see here too is, Worthy kind of get steamed up a little bit. You already can kind of see it. Like we've been in fast draft all weekend. So like we've been kind of seeing that happen. How do you feel about Xavier Worthy going forward? Because for me, I kind of feel like Worthy becomes a little bit maybe overvalued personally. Now, I mean, obviously, I was a little bit lower on Worthy, but I'll admit, hey, I was wrong. Like
Yeah.
we were like, hey, we were wrong to a point because we were pretty pro Brian Thomas, and it really wasn't a popular opinion at the time. But we didn't think Worthy, at least I didn't. I don't want to speak for you, Muscles. Would be as successful as he is, but he really turned it on there going into the playoffs, and we've seen the long catch in the Super Bowl. Anybody can say what they want. I mean, it was a beautiful play, it was a beautiful catch. I mean, yeah, they were down, but they were trying to come back. So he has shown some signs. I just think for me, when Rashee Rice comes back, that's Rashee Rice's role, man. Like Worthy's going to have to take a step to the side and kind of do whatever they're going to ask him to do, which he's dangerous. He's really dangerous. Speed kills. I mean, that's an old saying that's very, very true.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Coming from a dynasty standpoint and or, fast draft, I mean, when do you want the points? I mean, do you want the points? Like I said, I'm just completely speculating here. Let's even say he's out weeks 1 to 5. Worst case scenario. Is your points that you get extra out of Xavier Worthy weeks 1 through 5 really worth the hype? No. Like, I mean, once Rice comes back, the ball's gonna go to Rice. and Rice is going to be the guy. So
Yeah,
if there is a bump and you can sell them and you feel like you can, there is this extra bump. Yeah, I'm all about selling him. I mean, I'm right there with you. He's a great player and everything like that, but this is, he benefited from this Rashee Rice, fiasco. And
absolutely. Absolutely. It's like for me, I don't think so from a dynasty standpoint. So like we're kind of going best ball and dynasty here. Like I'm fine still clicking a button on Rashee Rice. He did drop a little bit. You don't want to go too high. Like I said, I can't take Worthy where he's going. He's going a little too high. I think I seen him a couple times in like towards the top end of the third round. I want to say it was, but kind of speculating a little bit there. But like so
let me
from a
see. I'm
dynasty,
going to start up right now. It's in like the 7th round. Or are you talking fast
I'm
draft?
talking more like best ball fast draft. Like
Yeah. Let me look at my last fast draft while you're
s-
talking.
so like looking at it though, from a dynasty standpoint though, like I don't think we're gonna get a discount in Rashee Rice. Like I think we already know, and the whole community knows what we have in Rashee Rice. Like as long as he can get his act together, as long as he can come back after this really bad injury, he's really shown us a lot. And I mean, just some of the stuff he's put up, like breaking rookie records for the Chiefs and receiving, which is kind of a rare thing because it just seems like rookie receivers, as good as we're talking about Xavier Worthy, he still didn't do what Rashee Rice did his rookie season. So like I think that's where we got to know to step to the side. I think for more it's a sell of Worthy for me. I don't think you're getting a discount on buying Rashee Rice, and maybe just maybe Travis Kelce has a little bit more left in the tank and he can kind of like come into that Rashee Rice type role while Rashee Rice is out, because this is kind of something with Kelce getting older. Can he put up some big games and stuff at the beginning of the year, and maybe he fades out a little bit towards the end, just off of age and like kind of where his life is.
Yeah, yeah. I couldn't agree. Rashee Rice went 308 in the last fast draft I did. So,
Where'd Worthy go?
oh, that's right. We were looking at Worthy, not
That's
Rice.
okay. I still want to kind of see where Rice he fell a little bit.
506.
Oh, 506.
506.
That actually isn't bad. So maybe it
So
hasn't corrected itself completely yet.
after him, Jameson Williams, which I'd probably, I think they're both about the same. Cortland Sutton,
Sutton's
DK
close. Sutton's
Sutton's
close.
close. DK Metcalf, Devonta Smith, and George Pickens.
Yeah, I'm probably Worthy. That's actually not too
Yeah,
bad right
yeah,
there for
that's what I'm
Worthy.
thinking. That's not
I
a bad
I think there's
spot.
a small argument for Cortland Sutton, but I mean, other than that, I don't mind
Uh,
it.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
So
maybe Kansas City relies on the run game a little bit more. I mean, I know Pacheco kind of stunk it up the last part of the year, but we knew he wasn't
yeah,
healthy.
I can't even believe Isaiah Pacheco is on the field, to be completely
I
honest. Like
know, I
I
know.
I'm a firm believer like he is not coming back. And then whenever he did, which can be a bad thing at times, like I'm glad the Chiefs kind of treated him right. I know they drafted Bashard Smith, which I mean, hey, he's an explosive player, but he's still pretty raw. And you can really tell whenever you're watching the film, he's kind of more of a pass catching guy, which still has a lot of upside in the Kansas City offense. Like not dissing him at all, but like,
He could be
yeah,
like the
man,
Jarek
Pacheco,
McKinnon,
yeah,
like
exactly.
a
Kind of like,
couple years ago.
yes. Can he do something like that? And if he can, that still means that Pacheco is gonna have a good amount of work. Like he's gonna have a good amount of volume. Like Pacheco just reminds me of one of them players that like nobody necessarily really wants him. He's a lower round draft pick. Like he's not really sexy. It's kind of weird when he gets hit. He gets up like all pumped up and like it's strange and nobody really likes him. But he is a good value once again because this is an offense where like they just signed Trey Smith to a big deal. He's the highest paid guard, so they kind of like I don't want to say rebolster the line because it sucks they lost Thuney, but at least they're keeping somebody. And then can they keep building around it? Very well, they could. I mean, just scheme
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah, I mean, he's just the guy that keeps surviving. Like like last year's draft, we thought, oh, they're going to draft somebody, and then the trade deadline comes, and oh, they're going to go get Jonathan Taylor. Like
Every year, yeah,
every year, like I fell victim of it. Like it's just, and he just keeps surviving. So it's like maybe the Kansas City Chiefs are kind of telling us something here. Like they like Pacheco. Like Pacheco fits them.
Yeah.
for some, whatever, for whatever reason. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's kind of nice that he got hurt, but that performances at the end of the last year, I mean, maybe kind of drug his value down a little bit more. Like I think people have a
Yeah.
bad taste in their mouth right now of
I
Isaiah Pacheco.
I do too. And I would easily I would easily, if I'm a contender, if you can get him for a late second or something, I'm in on that for Pacheco
Yeah.
because I truly feel like, yeah, it is coming to an end, but he is a good value, man. Like, I mean, he's gonna get work. And if
Yep.
he can hold up, that's what we need.
And we want, I mean, everybody says it. I mean, you want good parts of good offenses. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we know the Kansas City Chiefs are going to put up points. You know the Philadelphia Eagles are going to put up points. Like you want a part of it. Even if it's not the best part.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think maybe they learned their lesson with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, drafting him as high as they did, and it just didn't work out. So let's go ahead to the next bit of news here. Kind of surprising, in my opinion. Noah Fant is relieved of his duties out of Seattle. So I've been seeing, if you're on the old X machine, we're seeing a ton of Elijah Aurora to the moon. How do you feel about this, Muss? Because this is something that was really shocking to me.
So it was really shocking, and at face value, I was like, oh man, like Arroyo. I was the same way, like Arroyo to the moon, like. But at the end of the day, like after you come home and you eat and you think about it, like, is it really that sexy of a job to really have? I mean, Noah Fant was I believe, like a serviceable, above
Mhm.
serviceable tight end, and I think we saw a tight end 12 year from him 1 year there. I mean, other than that, it's pretty bleak. So I
Yeah.
mean, I don't want to say Arroyo is going to be like dead and gone or anything like that. Like Arroyo could still have a role, but like, is the hype a little out of control right now?
Yeah. So for me, I really like Elijah Aurora. This is somebody that, like, through the process, I'm like, oh damn, like okay, it's clearly Tyler Warren, then it's clearly Colston Loveland, but then like there's kind of that mix of guys, right? There's Mason Taylor, there's Terrence Ferguson, there's Elijah Aurora. Through the film, Aurora was my number three. But the bad side with Aurora is injuries, dude. Like I know, like, he's been on the field or whatever, and finally they got the contract, good to go, which was kind of weird as well. They get him signed because nobody could sign these second round picks because people wanted, guaranteed
Guaranteed
money,
money.
and it was just a downfall. But anyways, as soon as they sign him, it's like, what? We signed him like yesterday, and now they're going to release Noah Fant,
Yeah.
which whatever. Okay, you're kind of like making a stance, like, okay, I really believe in Aurora, but this is a guy that cannot stay healthy. So like to get away from Noah Fant for Aurora, like, it just really scares me. Can he stay healthy? Because I do think he's a really, really talented guy. But kind of why you really need to go after AJ Barner. Like, he's totally free. None of these guys are sexy. All I'm saying is, like, you look on your waiver wire, you're gonna see Barner on there, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's gonna be on there. So just add him because we know Roro can't stay healthy. And you might be in a desperation mode, or you might be able to use AJ Barner because, like, maybe you're trying to tier up to a player. Somebody needs AJ Barner. Like, okay, he had a touchdown, whatever, and you can throw him in the deal just to spice it up and make a trade. So this is a perfect move that I like to get these guys for totally free. And it might not be a 1-for-1 trade, but throw them into something. Throw them into
Yeah.
something to sweeten that pot. And on the flip side of it, Noah Fant, what happens to him? Like, where is he gonna go? It's gonna be interesting because let's try to think of some teams that need a tight end. Nothing really stands out because I do think he has talent. I mean, he was a
I
former
do
first
too.
round pick. We kind of talked about this at work. He's only 27 years old.
That's honestly that's what I just looked up. I wanted to see how old he was. He was 27.
Yeah. So like, where's he fit in through all this? Like, we always say about the damn Chiefs.
I
But what
know.
if what if he went with Travis Kelce and this is a role that, oh my God, I would love, but like you can't buy Noah Fan on the hopes and dreams that he's gonna go there and be something. So I don't know. There is some good teams out there that could use a tight end. Just take a look at a couple.
Bengals, like Gesicki. I do like Gesicki, but
I do too, and they locked him into a couple year
yeah,
deal.
yeah,
What if he goes out to LA?
yeah, I would like that.
The Chargers. I mean, I think there's a possibility where that can happen. I know that we kill people with Rondé Gatson, but they got Tyler Conklin. Like, it got a bunch of.
Yeah.
I think the Chargers could be maybe a
Now, now,
sneaky
did they
spot.
straight up cut him? Like, does he have to? I know this might be something that we don't even know yet, but like, does he have to go through waivers? Would it be like a waiver process, or is he just straight up cut and can
I,
sign anywhere?
I think he's just straight up and cut and signed anywhere because, like, from what they just straight up released him.
Okay, I didn't know if he had to go through waivers, so it was like everybody in this division had the first chance, and then it went by conference, and you had to go through that whole pecking order. But yeah, if he can sign anywhere, I mean, that would be. I mean, the Chargers would be a really sexy landing spot.
What if
I
it
mean,
killed everybody on that whole Darren Waller hype train? He
oh,
goes to my.
yeah. Honestly, yeah, I
It's
could
not
see
bad.
that.
It's not bad. He would
No,
fit the offense pretty
he
well. He's
would.
athletic.
Yeah.
I think he can find some open spots.
To
I
be
mean,
honest, I mean, it's kind of like John Hughes' game a
yeah,
little bit.
yeah,
You
it
know,
is. I don't know if
if you squint your eyes and tilt your head to the side a little bit, I mean, I can see it.
yeah, I kind of see it. I mean, that couple spots like that, like it's not bad. It's not bad when you actually look at it. Just trying to look at a couple more, but nothing really makes a ton of sense. I mean, I think there was a good tight end class, so like it was
Yeah,
kind
it
of
was.
hard.
Yeah, obviously the Rams got one, the Jets got one, so like those
Yeah,
those are spots that we normally always say, and
Colts a surprising Bears. I
Colts,
mean that
yeah,
uh, I think them would be a couple good spots that make a lot of sense to me. And if he
yeah.
goes there, I'd be pretty excited about it as well. Especially either one of them would be really really nice.
Speaking of the Bears, if we heard any news about Cole Kmet, like, are they gonna roll out with two tight ends, or are they?
I do not know. I
That's
mean,
kind of been quiet, which is kind of weird.
I know it. I do not understand
I
why they
don't
drafted
either.
Colston Loveland where they did. Phew, I don't get it. I really really surprised.
Yeah, Ben Johnson must have really wanted his guy or something like that, but like
And
that's what.
that's when we do some buys and stuff. I think Cole Kmet's kind of sneaky as well
Yeah,
because
that's
he
what
gets
that's what I'm
moved.
saying. Like he could be moved, like
Yeah,
after training camp in the preseason. Like
yeah.
we very well could see him in like Miami. I don't think I'd really like him there, but like Chargers,
No. Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't mind him there. But yeah,
I hopefully Noah Fant can kind of revitalize his career. I mean, he was with Denver and things got real ugly real fast. Mus, I know you're kind of a
yeah,
Denver guys, your other team, and it just went really bad. And then he was involved in that Russell Wilson deal, and it just he didn't fit the Pete Carroll offense, it seemed like, or it just didn't work out. Like I don't even
yeah.
really know if he didn't fit just didn't work out. But
I think he got let go during the Vic Fangio. I could be wrong on that.
he was with Seattle for 3 years, I believe.
Yeah, so I think that was
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
tail.
yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
who was after Vic Fangio? There was I can't remember, but yeah, Vic Fangio. That towards the end there, that was pretty dark and grim.
Yeah, it
So
was. Indeed it was. But going to the next news, Muscles, before I even get into the next news, let's just talk about. So I heard you've been trolling people in Superflex by taking all kinds of quarterbacks. I'm not in this league. Muss is trolling people. He's out here drafting 5 quarterbacks in 5 rounds. People are freaking out because, well, I mean, they're taking regular players from what I'm hearing. This is what Ishman's telling me. Is
yeah,
like they're
yeah,
taking George Pickens and Jared Goff's on the board, and you're like, okay, just take Jared Goff. Like they just keep flipping
yeah,
them.
yeah. I mean, to be honest, that I don't know if it's a good strategy or not. I just like pre-draft, would sit there and I just sit there and queue up 200 guys, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna like try to stick to this list. Like I kind of told myself that last year, and I'd kind of like draft for need. But I'm like, you know what? Let's just stick to this value
I
list.
like it.
Like whatever happens, and then like after the draft, sort it all out later. Like I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm like, you can probably get 2 firsts for Jared Goff or a first and around a first-ish,
Right.
type player. But like George Pickens, like you're gonna get a first. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, like that's just how I was drafted, and this guy is just throwing a fit, and
This is what
I
I'm
don't.
hearing.
Yeah, like he's just I just ignore him for a while, and then it's just I just started just throwing him a little bit back, like, and it's just funny. Like I just
Oh
messing with his
yeah.
head. Like there's a guy in front of me. I'm like, hurry up, pick. I need my 5th quarterback, and he's like, if you pick a 5th quarterback, I'm taking my whole 8 hours. And so that guy picked, and Tua was still on the board. He was actually the first on my list, so I took Tua, and yeah, it was he just.
What's your quarterbacks right now? If you can get
So
them up real
and
quick.
he was bitching at me because he said I reached for Mahomes. I got Mahomes at the 111.
I don't mind that.
No, I don't mind it either. And that's what he picked Neighbors at the 110. So I was like, if you need a quarterback, because he hasn't drafted a quarterback, I'm like, just trade me Neighbors for Mahomes. Like I'll even throw in a 4th or something if you want to feel better about it, But
Yeah.
he won. But I got Mahomes and Herbert, and then I got Kyler in the 3rd. And then I did take AJ Brown, James Cook, so like that wasn't bad picks, I don't think. AJ Brown in the 4th, James Cook in the 5th, and then Jared Goff was there in the 6th, and
Gotta
then
take coffee.
yeah, I mean Zay Flowers went right after Jared Goff, so it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
in my opinion, and
Yeah.
Justin Fields went right after that, so it's like,
And that's the thing. This is what you got to think. This is why I love drafting quarterbacks like that too. In a normal league, after you already drafted, would you trade in a super flex? Would you trade Zay Flowers? And I'm not. If anybody's listening, I'm not shitting on Zay Flowers because you drafted him where you did. But
right,
would you you know what I mean? There's a clear tier
that's
there, man.
that's
Like you
exactly why, and it's
easily,
yeah,
to me, if I have Jared Goff, I'm like, I want Zay Flowers in your first.
right,
I
right,
mean, that might sound like an overpay, but you need a quarterback. I have the quarterback.
yeah.
I need capital, so
Yeah. No, I
I
mean
like
you can't piss everybody off in your league because then they're not going to trade with you, and I know that. And
eventually they have to. Somebody's got to give
oh
because
yeah,
this has
yeah,
happened in other leagues with you where you took
I,
quarterbacks and they said, I'm just don't trade with them. Don't trade with them. We didn't even finish the damn draft and you already traded Bro next to somebody.
yeah, exactly. So that's just what I started doing is just kind of like I have a list of like my rankings, and I'll just go through and just queue all of them up, and then when it's my turn, I'll look who's at the top of the queue. Like
Yep.
years past, I would kind of go off of my list a little bit. And if I need a running back, you draft a running back. If you need a receiver,
Yeah.
you draft a receiver. You need a tight end, you draft a tight, and it's like, are we reaching? Like,
Right. Right.
so now it's like I'm just drafting for value, what I find is value, and
Maybe
afterwards I'll sort it out.
we'll have to make an X post. Is Muscles a dick? But I like your style, Moss. I don't blame you.
Yeah,
You gotta draft the best player available. I'm a firm believer in that as well. I've came out with teams like that as well.
yeah, yep,
So
yep.
going let's talk about our sponsor. Who sponsors this show? So if you're watching our beautiful faces here, you're gonna see a rabbit in the corner. And that's a fast draft rabbit. And that's one of the new tournaments out here, the rabbit. So you got to get on the fast draft app. Muscles and I have been in there all weekend. We had
Yeah,
a beauty contest. So
yeah,
it
yeah.
was really cool. So somebody got $500 for the most beautiful roster. Maybe my English is wrong here, but prettiest roster. Let's say that.
It's something like that.
So it was third down DYL 1. So congratulations to him. He got 500 promo bucks on fast draft. And let me tell you, with 500 promo bucks, you can do a lot. So
Yeah,
if you're not on the fast draft app, use a promo code POWER and they will match you up to $50 if you're a first time depositor. It's a great place to be. Finally, like I said, it's been a couple weeks. It's been legal in PA. We've been going a little bit crazy since it is here now, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, it is fast. Like, go in there, get your ranking set up, kind of get who you want to do, and lot of cool stuff, man. You get through drafts really, really fast and get into another one. I mean, there's still some Origins drafts, but really like these rabbits. So far, they've been my I don't want to say they've been my favorite when Origins first came
Yeah.
out, but I do really like how they have this one set up.
Yeah, I do too. This is my first weekend doing it. I did the,
Yeah,
did
even
the
our boss was in there.
yeah,
He drafted
yeah,
a
it was
couple
kind of
teams.
nice. Like we have half-hour lunch breaks, and we'd sit there and eat and get in it's called the rabbit. We'd get in a rabbit, and hell,
Yep.
we'd finish up, still have time left in our break. Like it's
Yeah.
10 teams, so your team looks really sexy at the end of it. I
Oh,
mean,
I know.
other sites like Underdog, DraftKings, it's 12 teams, so you're reaching there at the end. But really, to
Yeah.
be honest, 10 teams, you're always coming out pretty much like, man, that team looks good.
I know. I know. And
10
there's
teams, 10 teams versus 12 teams makes a huge difference.
It does. It really does. So yeah, you're drafting 150 players. It's what 10 teams and 15 rounds, so 150 players, and I really like that too because then it even shows you the percentage of some ownerships.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
we're going to be talking about some of these second-year running backs on the next show, and I mean one of them that I'll drop right now, Will Shipley. I mean, has a chance. Saquon Barkley's coming off a 400 plus carry season. Will Shipley is 6%. He's 6% owned throughout this tournament. So for me, it's like, boy, if Saquon Barkley goes down, I might be able to make the difference on some points here. But
yeah,
it's kind of
absolutely.
nice, but you don't have to dig too deep. I mean, it's
No,
okay, I think, for a player or two, but it's a lot of fun. I definitely really like how they have that set up, and can't wait to draft some more teams here. See what kind
oh
of
yeah,
different stacks we can do. And actually, talking about stacks, somebody got a bunch of stacks here. Garrett Wilson signs a 4-year, $130 million deal, $90 million guaranteed. So Garrett Wilson getting paid here. I think this is a tremendous job by the New York Jets because I think Garrett Wilson's a real deal. He's really suffered with bad quarterback play. He was Aaron Rodgers.
yeah,
And
yeah,
really the first year when Rodgers was there, I went out and cooked something in my microwave and came back and he's laying there holding his ankle. I'm like, what happened?
yeah,
So
yeah.
don't be getting a snack on the first drive of the game and make
And
sure
then
you
the next year he got Aaron Rodgers again, and they
yeah,
brought in Devontae Adams, who
yeah, yeah,
I, you know,
yeah, he's got the shit end of the stick. I mean, and then Zach Wilson's been really, really bad. So I know it probably seems like we're like, wow, you really pay a receiver that hasn't done much, that kind of money, but you're gonna find out real, real fast though. Not just because we believe in his talent, what some of these receivers are gonna get. You
oh
know,
yeah, yep,
wait till you see what some more like think about it. We got a really good class coming out, like Malik Neighbors. Whenever he gets paid, what's he gonna get? What's Brian Thomas Jr.? I mean, Lad McConkey. If Xavier Worthy does take another step forward, I mean,
yep,
Marvin Harrison, he hasn't done anything really yet. I don't want to say he hasn't done anything, but like really underperformed. But if he really takes off, what are these guys going to get? So I think it's a really good job to pay these guys. And they also pay Sauce Gardner. He gets a 4-year, $120.4 million deal. He's the highest paid defensive back. So what's that tell you, Moss? Is we kind of went back to the whole Travis Hunter thing. We're like, oh, is he going to play receiver? Is he going to play corner? And a big thing you brought up, Moss, that I want to give you credit for is that you were saying, hey, look what defensive backs make. Look what like Patrick Surtain makes compared to like what these receivers make. What do you think he wants to do?
yeah,
So
exactly.
that shows you right there. I mean, the corner that's the highest paid is still $10 million less than what Garrett Wilson is. So
Yeah, I think at the time we were debating it, I think Gabe Davis got paid, or some Diami Brown got $10 million, and like I can't
yeah.
remember if it was Gabe Davis, but it was somebody got 20 something million, and I'm like, look, like Patrick Surtain is the best corner in the league,
Yep.
arguably,
Yeah.
and he gets what 20 some million a year, and we got
Yeah.
I don't want to say scrubs, but you got mid wide receivers getting that.
Which to me is kind of crazy, right? If you think about it, like I think it's really rare to find a good corner and one that lasts because I mean it's such an offensive game anymore. Like defensive backs can't do near what they used to do back in the day. So like it really helps these receivers kind of free up and like get open and make plays. And it's became a real pass heavy league now. Like the league's always changing. Like when we were younger muscles, like in the early 2000s, we got to see like Fred Taylor, Sean Alexander,
Mhm.
Jerome Bettis. Like we got to see hardcore run game. I mean, even like Arian Foster, Marshawn, like even at that, like we don't really have that anymore. It's a lot of passing. So like these corners become pretty damn valuable. And I just think the price needs to go up for corners personally because some of these guys like they kind of come and go, right? Like even Richard Sherman, he was really, really good for a couple years, but then he kind of really like cooled off.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a position too that I don't want to say it's necessarily replaceable, but like
I
one that
think
they
when you
can
start to
cool
age,
off.
I think if you
It
start missing a
yes.
step, start
Yeah.
losing a step, I guess not missing one, but as
Yes.
soon as you
Because
start
you
losing a step, you're
mhm.
done.
Yep. These guys are too athletic, and if you're not getting help on the defensive side, yeah, you need every little bit of juice that you have. And I think that even comes down to injuries too. Like if you're always banged up, you're gonna play like shit just because like you need everything. Like you need to
Yep.
try to be as healthy as you can be to be a defensive back in the NFL. So
Yeah.
we talked a little bit about Trey Smith. He's the highest paid guard, a 4-year, $90 million deal. We have a little bit more here on this Quinshawn Judkins news. So a statement came out, and basically from what I'm reading and understanding is uh it was a woman in the car and he I guess hit her. Like from what I read, it seemed like he hit her in the face and turned around and like was hitting her with a closed fist. Is that kind of what you got as well?
Yeah, from what I was reading, it was like she was in the front seat. He hit her in the mouth with a closed fist, I guess. And then, like, she got in the back to get away from him because obviously you can't open up the door and, run
Right.
away, I guess. And he kept hitting her in the leg, I guess, or thigh or something like that. So, but I guess she has pictures. It hasn't been released, I don't think, to the
Ooh.
public. But
Ooh.
that's what I heard. I don't know whether that's true or not. But of course, if she filed a police report, the police are going to take pictures. I mean, that's one of the first things they do. But she did go days later. But I'm sure that there's still marks or whatnot. But she went days later which this is alarming. This is completely alarming.
Mhm.
She, this is what she said. She said she didn't want to hurt his career, so he was just going to keep it hush hush, whatever. Well, his friends and family said, no, just go forward. Like he's done it to himself. Like,
Right.
and this is coming from her. I don't want to speculate, but like that's kind of crappy if your friends and family, or you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah. So like we're gonna talk about this in two's perspective. As a person, I think he's a bad person for doing this, and he
yeah,
needs to go get help. If he has anger problems or whatever, like he needs to get help. And you can't put your hands on a female. I mean, you shouldn't put your hands on anybody, but like you don't do that to a female. Like, bro, you're a second round pick. Like you are
I know.
talented, but like what I did the show sheet like Wednesday or Thursday, and there were 30 unsigned second round picks out of 32 players. So, do you think Quinshawn Judkins is going to get fully guaranteed money? I highly doubt it. So, like, yes, you're talented. Yes, like you made a mistake, but you made a big mistake, man. Like,
Yeah.
not even saying like you're signed. Like, what are you doing? Like, I just don't understand what some of these guys are thinking, what's going through their head. Now, from a fantasy perspective, like there was some hate on Twitter. Like I know Hutchinson Brown said something about like buy the dip, and people really jumped on him, Muss. And I give you a lot of credit. Like you really stuck up, and you're like, guys, he's saying it from a
Yeah,
fantasy
from a
perspective,
fantasy standpoint,
and he's
yeah.
and he's a younger kid. We when we were with DNA, he came on a show actually with us, a live draft show, and really really nice guy.
Oh yeah,
So
we met him at the expo. Yeah, we met
yeah,
him at the
yeah,
expo. Him and his dad. I mean, they were
yeah.
great
Really
people.
nice people. So,
Yeah,
like, stop the hate on Hutch, guys. Like, it's
yeah,
stop the hate on everybody. I mean, he's talking about from a fantasy standpoint. I mean, he's not trying to be a certain way. So
no.
stop all
I
that.
mean, Listen, Deshaun Watson. I was
Right.
buying the dip at first too.
Everybody was, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Am I saying it's okay to go to massage parlors? No, but
Yeah,
come
yeah,
on. I was trying to get Watson in on some throw-in deals, or
yeah.
whatever. Like this is fantasy football. Like I'm
Right.
sure everybody looked at their rosters.
Yeah.
You've got one guy on there that's got questionable
Don't
character.
don't draft Joe Mixon. Don't draft
Yep.
Tyreek Hill. Don't draft Jerry Judy. I mean, yeah, he might not have been convicted, but like, who knows what happened
Yeah.
behind the scenes? And I'm not, not speculating anything, but like, yeah, like you said, you look at your team, man. Like, you're gonna have players that did shitty things, and if you don't want to draft Quinshawn Judkins, that's totally fine, man. It's your
Yeah.
team, and like to top it off, like it's your team to have fun. Like,
Right.
if you wanna buy the dip because you think it's fun that you're getting Judkins for a good deal and you feel good about it, good for you, man. Like, you feel good about it. If you're like,
Yeah.
"I don't like him, he's a woman beater, I don't want him on my team," then trade him. That's fine too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we
And
we're sitting here on July 20th, and we can't tell you what's gonna happen with Quinshawn Judkins. We do not know. Alls we know is what they're telling us, and another thing that we know is that they drafted Dylan Sampson in the 4th round, who we really liked as well. So, like, that's all we know. And until and I don't wanna say I can guarantee you, but I have a good feeling these pictures will surface. It's not gonna be good. I
no,
also I also seen stuff which you can't always believe the internet, of course, but, like, he had some character issues
that old mess.
at Ole Miss. So, like, one thing that I read, and I shouldn't say this because it's kind of a horrible thing, but, like, I guess he went to some hospital, I wanna say for kids or something, I seen somebody say, and he wanted paid to do it. So,
Hmm.
like, he kinda threw a fit about, like, not getting paid and going there, and is that true? I really, really hope not, and I probably shouldn't even say that because anybody could make that up. It's a horrible thing to make up, but, like, we
Yeah.
have heard on the internet multiple things of him, with character concerns. Now, whenever I scouted him, I didn't hear or see anything, didn't think anything about it, but obviously they did, and, I heard this on another show, in their Discord, they said, "Did they draft Dylan Sampson in the 4th round because they knew that he had character concerns?" Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe they did.
Yeah. Here's the unfortunate thing with Judkins. He plays the most probably replaceable position in the NFL.
Easily.
You
Easily,
know?
dude. Easily.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, easily. I mean, look at Christian McCaffrey. He was like a god in Carolina. Couldn't stay healthy, shipped him off.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
It happens all the time, man. I mean, they even do it with quarterbacks, let alone running backs. Like,
Right.
it ain't
Yep.
nothing. It ain't nothing.
Nope.
So, yeah, we don't know what's gonna happen with him. We'll just have to keep a close eye on it. Uh, kind of brought up a little bit about these rookies, these second round guys not getting fully guarantees or whatever. Not really going to get into it because Trey Harris did report. He's the one kind of mainly concerned about because he was an actual holdout because they're going to be in a Hall of Fame game. Really needed to get him on the field because that is happening here. No, it's at the end of the month. We got football in like a week.
Yeah. I think it's the 31st.
I think it is the 31st as
Yeah.
well. So like
Because I think that was like the whole tweet when it came to July was like, hey, we have football this month.
Yep. Yep.
So I think it's the 31st.
We're not going to really overreact because especially because we're starting to get to see guys like Travion Henderson signed, RJ Harvey signed. So like, it's nice. It makes us feel good about some of our teams and that they're actually there and going to be on the field. But what we do have, Muscles, a 1st round pick, Shamar Stewart, has reportedly left the team. He returned to practice with Texas A&M and could apply for a waiver to re-enter the 26 NFL draft. They put the contract, they could void the guarantees. This is what he is upset about. They kind of had some weird language in it. And so what we kind of was reading was it seems like Cincinnati could hold on to his rights if he were to play and doesn't take some kind of legal action. I don't know the ins and outs of it, to be completely honest, but they could retain some. But a couple other options are he just works out, doesn't play at Texas A&M, just kind of works out and doesn't play any games and then can re-enter the draft and then I believe he can be picked by anybody but Cincinnati in the 26th draft. And another option that's probably not completely off the table is he requests a trade so that he wants out of Cincinnati. Say that the New York Jets come out and say, hey, we'll give you our second round pick next year. And then they do the contract the way he wants with fully guarantees or whatever. But this is kind of becoming really ugly because it seemed like this was a Trey Hendrickson replacement. Now, we've seen TJ Watt get mad money here in Pittsburgh. That hurts Cincinnati's pocket because that means his price just went up probably even more because he led the league in sacks. Henderson's, an awesome player on a bad defense, unfortunately. So this is getting really ugly. Don't know from what my knowledge, I don't know if this has ever happened where somebody actually gets drafted and decides to go back and play college, which I mean, there wasn't NIL deals then. So
Yeah.
we're kind of in uncharted territories, it feels like, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and I hope this doesn't open up a can of worms where like just future guys do this. I kind of hope, just as a fan standpoint, not necessarily fantasy, like as a fantasy guy, like he's a defensive player, I could hardly care less. But like as an NFL fan, you don't want to see this every year. Like
Yeah.
you don't want to see, oh, I got drafted by, let's just say, the Browns. I got drafted by the Browns. I can make 500,000 a year in college. I'm just going to go back to college and I'll re-enter the draft next year. Like I think it should be the option one where okay,
Yeah.
the contract didn't work out, whatever. Go back to Texas A&M. When you come back next year, guess what? You're not entering the draft. You're a Cincinnati Bengal. You guys work it out.
Yeah.
Bengal. If you can't work it out, then trade them. Like if the NFL has to step
Yeah.
in and say, okay, what's the problem here? Then maybe the NFL should step in. But I just don't want to see this where I'm just going to throw this out there. I don't think Arch Manning's going to be like that, but let's say Arch Manning.
Yeah.
Arch Manning comes out, gets drafted by, let's just say the Browns. Okay, the Browns have a terrible track record for quarterbacks, never developed one. And is the Archie Manning camp going to be happy with it? Probably not. And does he just say, I'll just go back to wherever, and then enters the draft next year?
Right.
I don't want to see that.
Although his
So
uncle did this.
yeah, he
He
did. He
did this
did.
where he was
Eli.
drafted by the Chargers, and yeah, so
Yeah. In a way, I guess he did, but like, I just don't want to see it every year. I don't want it to be a
right.
storyline. Like we saw with the holdouts. Like, yeah, people in the '90s and 2000s, early 2000s, probably held out. And it wasn't in the news. We didn't have Twitter back then. We didn't have,
Right.
whatever. But like, it seemed like as soon as Le'Veon Bell started his BS, then everybody started holding out.
Yeah.
And like I just don't want it to be a trend now.
People just want, and I mean, I'm kind of on both sides of this because I do want to see players comp for because I'll always remember was it Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas? It was somebody for the
Seahawks.
Seahawks. I believe it was a safety, but he wanted paid, wouldn't pay him. He played, ended up getting hurt,
Yeah,
and they
yeah, and
carted
I
him
could
off. And
see
I'm
that.
like, ah, man, and did he ever get paid? I don't really know. I didn't follow it too much, but I always think of it from that standpoint. But at some point, these contracts, I don't know if they can go down, but not everybody can be the highest paid player.
No.
It's like we're always looking at it like, oh, highest paid player, oh, highest paid guard, oh, highest paid receiver. It's just always there, and then more and more guarantees. And it feels like Cleveland kind of started that with the
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson deal, like all that guaranteed money.
Yeah, and I think I could be wrong on this. I mean, second round picks, aren't you capped at what you can spend on them?
I don't know. I think that would probably be in the collective the
Like
bargaining agreement. I don't
like
know. I
like
don't
I mean,
know,
I
but
say like the 2-1, like you're not going to draft somebody at the 2-1 and give them a boatload of money. So it's like I don't. I mean, maybe there is something in the contract he doesn't like. I don't know. I don't want to attack him, but like
it seemed like
I
it was
just
mainly guarantees, which would probably be a good thing from his standpoint. Like, not to sound like an asshole, but he only had like 2 or 3 sacks throughout his whole college career. He's a super, super athletic guy, but like does seem kind of raw. So like maybe he really wants to guarantee that money to make sure he has
Yeah.
something. And I'm not saying that like he should, but it's just yeah, it's just kind of this whole owners and players like back and forth, back and forth. And I agree. And it does suck for us from a fantasy standpoint because we're like, we draft these players and it comes around this time, like, God forbid, but Brees Hall is holding out. He wants paid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, like, damn.
Yep.
So
Yep.
pure, like,
And
especially when you're in best ball and you're doing all these drafts, like, well, that killed me.
yeah, and I mean, look at it from rookie standpoint for for what we're looking at. Like, let's say it is Arch Manning. I mean, you saw people sell the farm for 20 whatever first.
Yeah.
You saw people tanking.
Tank for Tua. Remember that?
Yeah, tank for two, like right, wrong, or indifferent. Like people were like loading up on first. Like, oh, I got 4 first. Like I'll trade whatever for whoever gets the 101. Like. What I mean, you don't want to see people do that. And then Arch Manning pulls that and then goes back to school. Like
Yeah. Yeah,
I
because
don't know.
it's
I
not
don't
the
want
thing
it.
that
I
he
don't
wants.
want it to become a shit show. Kind of.
No, no, I do agree with you there, and I hope they figure out. And then if they don't figure it out, because like I said, even this is all uncharted territories. If they don't figure it out, I think how you can kind of keep this figured out a little bit, maybe not as much as quarterback, but like, I mean, possibly you could, but like running back, right? Like, okay, RJ Harvey, say he doesn't sign, they bring in J.K. Dobbins, right? And they tell
Hmm.
J.K. Dobbins, like, hey, we're gonna bring you in. And if RJ Harvey, maybe they know stuff that we don't know, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And then
Yeah. Yeah.
J.K. Dobbins is there. It's like, okay, if you don't want to play Harvey, like, we'll roll with Dobbins because it is more replaceable. Now, to say like a Cam Ward, you're gonna be like, oh, we'll throw fucking Will Levis back on the field. You're like, ah, shit. Like, that really sucks just for the whole morale of the team. Like, you were all hyped and you want to get that done. So I understand quarterbacks a little bit harder, but like even the Chargers, like if Harris wouldn't have showed up, they'd figure it out. Like
Oh
Keenan
yeah.
Allen's
Yeah.
available, Amari Cooper's available. Like there is teams that would fit. Like they could just be like, that's fine. We'll just bring in Amari Cooper. No big deal. He does what you do too. I mean, yeah, maybe not completely at this age, but like it still brings in competition where Trey's like maybe like, hey, yeah, I need to get in there. I need to start working.
I think this is a thing. I mean, not to go too far deep into this, but I think this is like a deal where, and I don't understand the ins and outs of it, but I know like baseball, like you draft a guy at the 101, he has a certain range where you have to pay him. Like I almost think like Goodell needs to sit down with the players union and say, okay,
Yeah.
you're a first round, you can even go like 1 to 10. Okay,
Yep.
you're a first round guard, you're going to get paid this. You're a first round quarterback, you're going to get paid this. You're a first round receiver, you're going to get paid this.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
have set amounts.
Yep.
Like that way, like, okay, so like a receiver is drafted at the 1-9. You know what you're going to get paid when you get drafted. Like I just,
Right. And the guarantees in that, like say you're
yeah,
Cam. So let's say this, right? You're a first round quarterback, you're the first pick. You're gonna make this with this guaranteed, and that's
yep,
final. If you don't take it, then that's on you. And I
yep,
mean, yeah,
exactly.
that sucks for the team, but there needs to be communication, maybe more with like these GMs and the player as well. And then like, okay, if you're the second quarterback, like you're Jackson Dart, okay, you fit this criteria. You
Yep,
went here in the first round. You're the second quarterback, so we're going to give you
exactly.
X amount of money for being the quarterback too, and so forth.
And
And
I
maybe these
mean,
guys would fight a little bit more to
yeah,
try to be the
That's what I
quarterback
was
one.
just gonna say. Maybe the NFL Combine, maybe you take it a little bit more seriously.
Yeah, and
You
people would
know?
actually compete in the combine as well because that's kind of
Yep.
been a new trendy thing. They're like, I ain't doing a combine. I don't need to do it. And it's like, damn, like, yeah,
Yeah.
we know you're good, but like, we want to see it. Like, you never
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I actually didn't think about the positional, battle. Like, if you're the third guard taken, like you can make this versus a sixth guard. But like that's a great idea too. Like, hey, you're the sixth guard taken, and you went in the second round. Like,
here's your
here's
pay
your
scale.
take.
Here's your
Yep.
guarantees.
Here's your pay scale. Here's your guarantees. Like,
You showed up, and then maybe even incentives for the combine. Like, okay, if you're invited to the combine, you show up and work, which does suck if you're injured because there are guys that are injured and You
Yeah.
know, I mean, you even look at Restrepo, like he probably cost himself a lot of money just and he didn't do the combine, but just his pro day running the 4.8 or whatever. Like we know he's faster than that, but like
Right.
we know he's not blazing speed, but obviously there was something wrong with the hamstring.
Yeah.
And you know, and that was a case I do believe it's like shit, he just shouldn't have ran, but he probably felt obligated to because he probably knew he was a borderline fourth, fifth round pick, and it didn't work out. But yeah, I would like to see the NFL do that as well, Muss. I think putting two minds together like that, and you know, if you could get all of them guys together, they could really come out with a nice scale and kind of,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
incentivize these guys to compete a little harder. You know, compete at the Senior Bowl, compete at the, you know, your pro day and the combine, and you know, just get a little better feel for it and offer these guys something and kind of get out of this whole I want this, I want that.
Yep, yep.
Just set it up a certain way. Sometimes that's the best way to do it, I feel.
Exactly. Yep, yep.
Uh, Before we get off here, let's go ahead. I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but we got a little bit more bad news here. Terry McLaurin wants a new deal. They're looking around a 30 mil a year deal. Now, Terry McLaurin is 28 years old. It just, he came out and said like he's not happy with how this is being handled. And it sucks because I think Terry McLaurin has always been a very good player. Finally, they land Jaden Daniels, a quarterback that can get him the damn ball. And we seen what Terry McLaurin can do last year. Yes, I know the touchdowns were high, but he's a damn playmaker. And it
Mhm.
just seems weird that Adam Peters and this whole just Washington team doesn't want to give him the money. Now, yeah, maybe it's a little bit of an overpay, whatever, but like this is somebody that I really think helps take this team. Like, I really like Devo Samuel, but putting these guys opposite of each other, I think this really helps your team win and helps Jaden Daniels continue to take them step forward. So, do you think McLaurin's going to get paid here, Muscles, or do you think maybe this is something that kind of lingers around? Is he dealt? I mean, there's a lot of different outcomes here.
Yeah, there definitely is. I think at the end of the day, I think they'll get a deal done. I think both sides will probably drag their feet a little bit and play kind of chicken, see
Yeah,
who, folds first. But I just, from what I'm hearing, in other podcasts and reading, like they have the cap room.
they do.
It's just, I don't know if they're just being cheap or whatever, but like they have Jaden Daniels and they know how good Jaden Daniels is. And they're going to want to build around him and going out and getting Devo. They didn't do that to let Terry McLaurin walk. So, like, I, I think they're going to get a deal done. They definitely should. If they don't, that's just terrible.
Yeah,
But, and that's on them. But they have to get a deal done. Like, it's inevitable. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong on this, but I think he still has 1 year left on his deal. So, like, basically, he wants this year restructured.
yeah.
Um, basically, like, I'm just throwing this out there. Like, let's say he makes 10 mil this year, but he wants 3 years, 90 mil. So basically, you'd only have to pay him. I don't know. Basically, the way you'd work it out, it would. So, like, you're not paying him the full 30 million a
Right,
year,
so it's
basically.
basically like a nothing hit this year and kinda goes down the
Exactly, and then it goes kind of down
a
the.
and
I
they've
don't.
already brought in Von Miller on, like, a one-year deal too, so I think
Yep.
it was, like,
So
10,000,000, so
I mean, they definitely have a team to compete. I mean, did
yeah,
they
yeah.
did they make it to the wild card last
Yeah,
year? Or
because they
they?
lost to the Eagles, I
Oh
believe,
yeah, yep.
yeah.
They actually made it to the
So
divisional
a rookie
or
quarterback. This is
conference.
a team that people were like, "Oh, can they win 5 or 6 games?" And they end up, going and yeah, the Eagles really, really kinda put their foot in their ass, but, like, at the same time, they were really competitive all season, and it did seem like they got lucky. Do you remember I think it was Alamazay Zaccheaus, the pass against Chicago? Tyreek Stevenson was like, pumping up the
Oh
crowd or
yeah,
whatever.
on the Hail
Hail
Mary.
Mary,
Yep,
yeah. It
yep,
seemed like their season it seemed like Chicago's season took a shit, and
yep.
Washington's season started taking off after that happened. So yeah, they came out, they surprised, they turned a lot of heads. Now we a lot of times do see a little bit of regression out of quarterbacks in year two. It's just something that kind of happens. You kind of have to ride the roller coaster, right? Not saying Jaden Daniels is going to regress, but if you know that that's a kind of possibility and trend that really seems to happen in the NFL, got to get Terry McLaurin out there, man. And,
Yeah.
Adam Peters, formerly of the 49ers, this is something the 49ers is kind of known for as well. So it's
And
gonna be interesting. I'm like you. I think they're gonna pay him. I would pay Terry McLaurin. I mean, just get the damn deal done. I think it's just very, very frustrating because like can't remember. Was it the receiver show George Kittle was on? Remember
yeah,
whenever they were trying to work out a deal and like Kittle's like, it's just really exhausting. Like he was kind of talking about, he's like, this sucks. Like you just
yeah.
want to get it done so you can get it behind you and just go to work.
And
Like,
and I know me and you've had this conversation before. Like I feel like as a if you were a Commanders fan, I feel like this is the perfect blueprint to go out and win a Super Bowl. Like we said this about Justin Herbert. Like you draft a talented quarterback and you have the talented quarterback. You're not paying him money. So
right.
then you use that money that you're not paying that quarterback and you build a team around them.
San
Eh,
Francisco does this.
San Francisco. I mean, we said the Chargers kind of effed it up with Justin Herbert because they never did anything.
I think it was
Um,
coaching mainly.
yeah, but I know me and you said that when
Yeah.
Justin Herbert was in his second or third year. I'm like, man, they're really messing this up. Like the Chargers could have something good, and I
Yeah.
feel like this is the Commanders. Like this is present day. Like like the Bears are doing with Caleb Williams now. Yeah, it hasn't went to fruition yet, but like Jaden Daniels, like the Commanders are screwing this up. And if you're a Commanders fan, like I feel bad because like this is what you want your team to do. You want that superstar quarterback that's on a rookie contract that you're not paying anything to.
Right.
Build a hell of a team around them.
Look what Green Bay has to do with Jordan Love. They have to
Yeah,
pay him, and now it's going to be hard to build around. I mean,
exactly. You're
yes,
seeing it
they
with
can.
Mahomes. You're seeing it with,
Because
yep, exactly.
there are certain positions too where you just like maybe you can't hit, right? Like you like say corners, like, hey, I draft a corner every couple years in the first 2 rounds. They just don't work out. So then you have to take that money and invest in a good corner because you obviously, your drafting department or what you're doing to develop these guys aren't working. So
Yeah,
sometimes you need to draft certain positions as well. And if it doesn't work out, then you got to end up paying your money there. And then you can just save so much money by drafting a quarterback and when they hit. And if I was the Commanders as well, like I'm paying Terry McLaurin and I'm trying to get a Jaden Daniels deal done too, because that
yes,
price is
yes,
going to go up.
yep,
Pay these
yep,
guys fast, give them the guarantees or whatever. And then next thing you know, when the next quarterback hits, they're getting a ridiculous amount of money. So you can end up, I've always said this Philadelphia Eagles do a great job with
yep,
this. They get their players paid, they get them done, they get it done fast, and they know what they want. And then that, what they did by saving money, think about this, okay? Before we get out of here, Jalen Hurts, right? Everybody was a little bit skeptical about Jalen Hurts. Like, is he that good? And people still like, I don't get the Jalen Hurts disrespect. I really don't. Like, okay, he does a tush push, but it works, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it really, really works. So the Eagles are like, yeah, we know we have in Jalen Hurts. We want to keep Jalen Hurts around. We're gonna pay him. They saved a lot of money by doing this. Number one, so they took the extra money. They can invest in other pieces. They can make AJ Brown happy. They can make Devonta Smith happy, and they can also bring in Saquon Barkley by giving him $1 million more than their rivals, the New York Giants, and then that helped them win this Super Bowl. So
yep,
by
yep,
saving that money by doing that, they ended up bringing in a stud. Like they kind of like I always say, like, certain positions are kind of like luxury, right? They end
right.
up they can pay the luxury tax for a Saquon Barkley now, to come in and do what he did, and he absolutely tore it up. So yeah, it's smart GMing. I mean, it's really, really good.
Yeah,
So
I couldn't agree more.
I think that's all the news, which I mean, we're right around an hour. So we have all this news in July, which is usually not very likely. We have camps opening up here. This is it. Did they open up this week? They open it
I
up.
think there was a couple. I mean, each camp's a different day.
Yeah,
I
they're a
think
little
I
bit
think the
different.
Chargers reported yesterday or today or something like that. But
Yeah, they're all going to be reporting here very, very soon, starting
yeah,
pretty much. I think
this week,
probably
this week, I think.
yeah, I would say probably by like Wednesday, probably everybody will be around. So like I'm sure when we talk in the next show, we'll talk a little bit of camp hype. We're gonna start seeing videos all over X. I've already seen some of Rondé Gatson videos. You know, everybody out there until they sign Noah Fant. And we'll see, but you know, we're gonna be seeing some hype videos, and then for the next show, we want to talk about some running backs going into year 2. Like we kind of been doing a little bit of research here, and we're like, hey, this is a really good running back class, but I think there's some really good value that just didn't work out last year that could maybe work out this year. And maybe there's some guys that worked out last year that we're a little bit skeptical and might have some competition that were brought in this year. So that's going to do it for this show, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe. You can follow us on Twitter. You see my name down there, FFA Train, and then Muscles. What's your Twitter handle? We'll have to put it on there.
Yeah, I'll have to put it on there. I'll just use the @RyanMail38 for now till I get a new one.
Yeah, then we're gonna get that's kind of his personal Twitter. We'll get him a Twitter
Yeah.
hooked up and everything. And that's gonna do it for this show, Moss. I appreciate you coming on here like always. It was good to break down some of this news and kind of like especially digest it after so much, right? This Rashee Rice and players got players paid, players not getting paid. Absolutely, man. So that's gonna do it. We will see you guys on the next show of the Fantasy Football Power Hour.
See ya.
See ya.
Yo, welcome to the Power Hour.